Hi everyone, this is Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins. So today we're going to talk about tremolo. We're going to talk about what it is, and I'm going to give you some solutions to some of the common challenges associated with tremolo, and I'll give you a couple tricks on how you can practice it. Okay, so what is tremolo? Well, tremolo is just a trembling effect that you create with your bow, and generally it occurs at the tip of your bow, and it's up and down bows that occur in a very quick fashion. Right? However, there are two primary challenges with tremolo that people usually have, okay? So number one is they're not able to move their bow fast enough, okay? And number two, generally people have a hard time maintaining tremolo for very long periods. You know, their arm gets tired, okay? So there's two basic things that you have to remember in order to overcome those challenges with tremolo. So number one, do not use your whole arm when doing tremolo, right? So what that means is you do not want to use basically this whole arm. You're going to be isolating, all your movement is going to be from the wrist up for the most part. Okay, so you're not going to really be moving your forearm, and you're not really going to be moving your bicep. Okay, you also want to avoid tension in your upper arm. Now, the easiest way to avoid tension in your whole arm is to not engage your bicep and not engage your elbow. So as soon as you start tensing up your elbow or this elbow joint, or as soon as you start tensing up your bicep, then that tension will go through your entire arm and your whole arm will lock up, and it'll have a tendency to get tired. Okay, so that's the first thing. Don't use your whole arm. The second thing is you want to use basically just 3 fingers on your hand. You're mostly just using your thumb, your index, and your middle finger, your third finger, okay? So mostly, now usually with our correct bow technique, we have all of our fingers on top of the bow, or laying on the bow, and then you have your pinky on top, right? But when you're tremoloing, you're really not going to be using your third and your fourth finger. Most of your motion's all going to be made with these 2 fingers. In fact, the majority of it, probably 85% of it, is going to be just in your first finger. So it kind of looks like this. Right? So really, the fewer fingers you use, the fewer large groups of muscles or bones that you incorporate in your motion, the less chance you'll have of tension. The less tension you have, of course, the more relaxed you are. The more relaxed you are means that you can maintain a motion longer, and you can do it without, you know, experiencing a lot of pain, and you can move faster. Okay? So now, how do you practice it? Okay, well, it's one thing to say, look, don't use, you know, your whole arm, just use, you know, your wrist, what's above your wrist, and use these 3 fingers. But that's hard to do, you know, so you have to establish a mind to muscle connection, so you are only moving, you know, those muscles. So developing that mind to muscle connection can be difficult. So here's a little trick that you can use when you're practicing. If you rest, when you're sitting down obviously, if you rest your hand on your knee, and I do this all the time, especially in orchestra, when you rest your hand on your knee, what that does is that isolates your entire arm. So now your arm can't move. Now you have to just move whatever is above your wrist. Now you can still develop tension in your bicep and your elbow, but it makes it a lot easier to kind of teach yourself to move the right things. Right, so if there's anything that you can remember from this video today, it's that tension is your enemy. Tension is your enemy. So you're trying to avoid tension at all costs. The way to avoid tension is to move as few large muscle groups and bones as possible. You want to isolate it to as few moving parts as possible and then focus on that mind-to-body connection with just those parts. Now, before I end the video, I'll just I'll tell you a little cheat. Okay, don't tell anybody I told you. If you're in orchestra, if you do a lot of orchestra playing, I developed this cheat because I used to play in orchestras a lot, right? Hours and hours a day. There is, there's a little cheat that you can do, and that is, remember when I was showing you how to practice, you can rest your arm, right, on your knee? Well, you can actually do that in orchestra. Don't get caught. Perhaps it's bad form, but if you're tremoloing on the upper strings on your instrument, you can actually rest your arm on that knee when you're playing and still have your instrument up, still have good form, still look professional, but you're kind of saving your arm. So if you're doing 3-hour, operas, or you're doing back-to-back 2.5-hour orchestra rehearsals, this could be a trick that could help you a lot with your stamina. So guys, I hope that my helpful hints have been helpful today. And if you want to see any more of my videos, just go to Joel's Corner on KennedyViolins.com, and all my videos are put together there. So it's just a really easy way to find all the videos that I'm doing. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the alert bell so you get a notification when I create a new video, because I'm always creating new videos. And if you're seeing this on social media or something like that, don't forget to DM or message me. I always answer all the questions that I get from everybody regarding all the videos that I do. And of course, don't forget, here at Kennedy Violins, we're all players and teachers, so we're always happy to answer any of your questions anytime. Thanks, guys.